Welcome back to the live, everybody. Now, obviously, we're going to give it a couple of minutes and then everyone can get in. That bandy guy's already in here. Hey, Josh. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Front and center as always. That's what I like to see. All right. We're going to double check everything's working and then we're going to get into the part 2 of the player gradings for 2025. Thank you for joining me all the first time. What a time it was. What a time it was. We disagreed, we agreed, but like a big, Mediterranean family. We felt like we were fighting, but we actually loved each other more than you could ever imagine. So we'll give it a few more minutes here to let everyone get into the chat, and then we're going to kick this off. I should turn everything on, do not disturb, because I don't want my phone going off in front of everybody. Really quickly, we'll double check this is all working, and then we'll get into it. We can run over the ratings from the last episode really, really quickly if everyone would like. Let's have a look. So I'm just checking everything's working, then we're getting into it. If you're in and you're watching, comment on the chat. Just let me know this is all going through. I've already had that bandy guy comment, but always good so I know that, that everyone can hear me okay. I'm excited. Here we go. Marcus, I can't believe I finally caught a live. Well, you are here, Marcus. This is live and it's raw. This is doesn't get better than this. And great name by this bloke. Joshua says, hi, Josh. Hello, sir. Welcome along. Welcome along. A few people getting in here now. What a day. I mean, look, we've had the girls win another game. There were some great performances in that. There's a bunch of trade news. We're going to cover that sort of stuff on the podcast. Sort of starting tomorrow and onwards, we'll be back to normal programming. All right, for those who are here, let's run through really quickly what we gave the first half of the list, and then we're going to get into part 2. We'll let people slowly join as they go, but you guys in the chat can help me, right? All right, so we're just going to go over really, really quickly season grades and what we gave everybody in part 1. And just remember, some people don't quite understand exactly how we grade. I'm grading off what their expectation was compared to what they delivered. So a couple of the controversial ones. I mean, we gave Harry Sheasel a B-, which does seem harsh. And that's not because he is worse than a player. Even like a Finn O'Sullivan got a B+, right? But Finn O'Sullivan's expectation was less. That is how we're grading it. It'll make sense as we go. That's just how I would grade things. Trust me, it makes sense. Finn O'Sullivan got a B+, She's B-, Core C-, Caleb Daniel C+, Wardlaw B-, Dersma D-. Lucky not to get an F there, but speaking of F, Bailey Scott got an F, LDU B-, McKercher got an A, McDonough got a B+, Simpkin got a B, Tucker D, Urquhart an A, Dylan Stevens A, Zach Fisher D, Hardeman A, Will Dawson B, Griffin Lowe got a D+, Lucky got a B, Callum Coleman Jones an A, Goad an A, and Geordie Payne got a B. That is what we were rolling with last time. So if you are ready to do part 2, put in the chat, I'm ready to go. I want to make sure everybody's ready here because I want as much collaboration as possible. I would like to give it as much time as we can to get people into the chat, but hey, we will see. Yes, just popped in to say g'day and all the best for tonight's ratings. Thank you for the comments, sir. I mean, look, hang around as much as you can, but if not, I completely understand. No, Joshua CCJ got an NA, not available, I guess, but not voting with him, to be honest, no. But hey, if you want to give him an A, please get in there and tell me why. All right. Marcus here, would you straight swap Durs for Sardis? Probably not. No. I think Durs has a lot more talent. Sardis, I mean, he's Wardlaw's mate, right? Yeah, probably not straight away. No. What sort of midfielder is Sardis anyway? I mean, that Windhager type midfielder is what we need if we did need one, and I don't think Sardis is that. So probably not. Um, a few more comments here. Rugo just got home from the AFLW game. Wind was very swirly. Yes. Yeah, I really wanted to get down to that game, but I wasn't able to in the end. But I did watch that game on TV, and geez, the wind. Um, that was crazy. I mean, what was quicker, the wind or Vicky Wall bursting through the middle, and her and Blaheen, I believe the name is. I'm learning how to say that. How incredible of a goal is that? If you didn't watch it, you got to watch that. Hi, Josh. Sorry if you have already covered it, but how many more do you think we will cut? Matt Wallace. We did do a live stream and a podcast about this. It's on YouTube. So go back and watch that after this, Matt. But yeah, I think we acted like there was 7 going to be cut, right? So we've gone with 4 already, obviously, and then myself. Who did I even do that podcast with? Anyway, we went through and we discussed who might get cut. So that podcast is out. We just predicted there will be about 7. All right, we'll get into it in a second here. Shadow, did you catch the Windhager race? Still alive? Yes, but we're going to be covering that. We're not talking about trades and things tonight, guys. I know it's very, very exciting. That podcast will be out through the week. Don't worry about that. We're going to do weekly trade updates and things like that. That Bendigo unpopular opinion, I would love to have Sardis. Fantastic. All right, let's kick this off. I've got another comment here, but it's not letting me pop up. How bad are we? The Windhager wants to go to a team without a coach. I did think that. That's from Joshua. I did think that, but hey, we're not here to talk about trades. Let's get in to the player ratings. Okay, we're kicking it off with number 24, Tom Powell. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. Now, what I've learned, there's a slight delay on the chat here for me to pop up. So I will give you my spiel, and then you guys put what rating you would give him in the chat. We can discuss. We're going to just remember we're being on more expectation to what they deliver. What was the expectation? I think, and everyone knows who listens to the pod, that I've been a Tom Powell critic, even though I like Tom Powell, but I'm just questioning maybe what he delivers compared to what we have asked from him, right? I think we expected a lot from Tom Powell. I think we were starting to talk about him in the vein of like, not with Shears and LDU, but that next bracket under, but a solid one in the midfield. He started in the midfield. He found his way out to the midfield because his performances weren't quite there, and definitely found his feet late in the season around the ground more. With that being said, I think around the B- to C+, which it looks like a lot of people are sort of starting to say here. Marcus says C+ to B-. Leo says C+. Interesting. That Bandy guy, he had good games against Melbourne and Carlton. That is true. I think he had some good games. Caleb says, what's Powell's role next year? I mean, it's around the ground, isn't it? I guess wing until someone takes it, or if we need someone halfback, half forward, I think he floats, but, a few CBAs here and there. I'm probably thinking B- C+. I'm looking at it like we gave Shees and LDU B- because their expectation was A+, and they didn't hit that. Tom Powell being below that, but expectation not quite being there. I'd be okay with B-, but I would maybe lean towards a C+, but I feel like that's a little bit harsh. So I'm going to let you guys vote in the chat. Let's have a look here. That Bandy guy, unfortunately, there's a gap between his best and his worst. Yeah, he gets lost in games. He's very, very good, but his best isn't like the best on the park mid. His best is playing a really good supporting role to our stars. He had a couple of really, really good games, but there's 24 games in the season. I'd say most of the time he was solid. But in the preseason, we're talking about him like he is going to have a breakout year, All right, let's have a look here. P. Bowler just joined, missed the start, but great to see another live stream, Josh. Thank you. Look, we're on the first player. We waited and let a few people jump in. All right, everyone in the chat right now, I want B- or C+. B- or C+, and we're going to do this and we're going to move on so it doesn't go too long. That's being, but it was class. That probably, but its position was closer to She's and LDU, and then he didn't deliver that. Shadow here says power's lacking with the sheer weight of CBAs. Worked himself so much, worked so much better off the half forward, half back, and became the extra link in play to really get up. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, completely agree. B for Caleb. I think that's a little bit high, Caleb, honestly. And it's not that he's not a B grade player, but it's more about maybe what he dished up compared to what he thought. Everyone is going with C plus here as well. We've got Rugel with C plus, Leo has C plus, Matt has C plus. It's C plus then. It's C plus, and I think that's pretty fair. Once again, I'm not saying he's a C plus player overall on the list, but what he dished up compared to what he or what we wanted from him wasn't quite there, I think. But it's still a really good player, really solid player for us in the 22. It's not a Tom Power diss. All right, Paul Curtis. Paul Curtis. I mean, did we give out an A plus? We didn't. We gave out an A to Colby, to Stevens, and to Hardiman. Is Curtis getting an A plus? Is Curtis? Yeah. It's in the A's. I think we can all agree it's in the A's. We all tipped him to have that breakout 40-plus goal season. Obviously, some ridiculous suspensions stopped him from doing that, but we know he would have got over that. Absolutely no worries at all if he didn't get suspended. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? A or A plus? Did someone have a better season? We're getting a lot of A pluses here. A plus, 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 plus from Jake. A plus from Marcus. Caleb, A plus. Leo, A plus. Shadow got to be an A. Yeah, A or A plus. Yeah, okay. Is this so? Joshua here. A would have been A plus if he wasn't suspended. Yeah, maybe we do go A because there's a couple of silly suspensions in there. And we did expect him to break out, but it was still electric. A or A plus? Matt says A. That Bandy guy, A for me. Just saying, but I said it. Look, the first suspension, we didn't do anything wrong there. Oh, let's have a look here. Okay. Is A harsh? Fabiano, hello, sir. This is Paul Curtis. We've just done Tom Powell. Now we're on Paul Curtis. We've only done 2, so you haven't missed too much. All right. In the chat, guys, A or A plus? Because so as an example here, we gave Dylan Stevens an A because we didn't expect much from him, and he so wildly surpassed it. But we expected a lot from PC, but I think he still surpassed that. I think he had a fantastic year. Shadow here. Curtis gets an A plus when he lands the more complete season of not falling into the AFL's nonsense calls. Not his fault, but an impact all the same. Joshua here. The thing is, PC was at a bigger club, the media would be all over him. You're totally right. All right, I need A's or A pluses. I'm going to make a final judge on your comments. I don't care which one we give him. We've got a lot of A pluses and a few A's. A plus is probably winning at the moment. I'm going to give it 20 seconds max. Get your comments in. A or A plus, and then we're going to be moving on. I'm just going to have a sip of water. I'm going to go quiet for 1 second because my throat is killing me. Thank you for letting me have a drink. Okay. We're still getting A pluses. All right, screw it. We're giving an A plus. We give it an A plus. Rugel says A plus too. Rugel, A plus. Marcus, A plus. We didn't judge based on injury, so we shouldn't on silly suspension. I absolutely agree. If he did something really stupid, I guess you can take that in, but obviously the 3-week suspension is ridiculous. And I guess you can control jumper punching someone, even though that shouldn't have been a suspension. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, I know what you mean. Caleb's got a good point here. Kicked 4 less goals than Ben Long, who was all Australian. A+. And Jakey, I love this. Having a Father's Day gin shortly. I love it, sir. On the rocks. All right, A+, A+, A+. You guys have convinced me. It's A+. Sorry for looking down at my phone here, but I'm writing them all down on my phone. We're going to do a review podcast of all of the ratings and that sort of stuff. Okay. Luke Parker. What do we expect from Luke Parker? And we expected a lot. This was the biggest acquisition on paper when free agency and all the trades and everything came about. So what does Luke Parker get? It's high because I think he's going to be up there in our All-Australian. I think he'll be top 5 in our All-Australian, to be honest. Did we expect as much from Parker as we did Curtis? I believe so. So I don't know if we can go A+ for Parker. A to A- is what I'm feeling because I guess part of his package is leadership and that sort of stuff. And you could see in games, he was the one just diving on everything. It was almost Jack Zeeble-like, to be honest, from him at times. A lot B for Parker. I think, geez, that feels a bit harsh to me. I think, Matt, give me a reason for B for Parker. We've got Joshua, B or B+. And Shadow here. All right, I got to go. Have fun. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time, sir. A for Parker from Leo. I'll put as many of these on the screen as I can. PS here. A+, he will do embarrassingly well at our BNF. Well, he's a great player, and I don't think 31, 32 is an age that you drop off a cliff. So he's still got footy left. He's got a couple of years of good footy on our list, I believe, anyway. B+, Fabiano here. Oh, clicked the wrong one. Parker, this is P Bowler. Parker B for on-field, but gets the plus for the intangibles like leadership. Interesting. Okay. I would have thought maybe a little bit higher, but B+ has added a lot of seniority to the side. A cool head, but still has fallen into the trap of occasional dumb kicking. Yeah, okay. For sure. Oh, that feels kind of, okay. Does anyone think in the A's at all? I probably would have gone A, but you guys are making me think B+ then. I think anything lower than B+ is a little bit too harsh. Jake here. I think he was brought in for off-field as much as on-field, so hard to judge without knowing. Going with A-. Yeah, that I kind of mirror that view. Not having an all-Australian season like Paul Curtis, not that we expected that from both of them, to be honest, but A- or B+. All right, get A- or B+. You can pick. They're the two options. Pick from one or the other. A- or B+. Bonnaroo's gone with A. Interesting. I feel like the two most common are A- and B+. I think he was brought in. Already read that. Jake, your comment was that good, mate. I already read it again. Leo here. Kicked goals and as such a physical presence in the midfield for me. A. Okay. I feel like maybe A- then. I feel like maybe A-. Because I think Fabiano here, lower than B+ would be absurd. Plus, we don't see what he offers at training, but not exactly seeing the world on fire. B+ for mine. Oh, we're getting a lot of A- here. Bonnaroo, A-. Rugo, A-. B+ from Matt. B+ from P Bowler. This is split. I maybe have to pull some rank here to be the overall. Marcus says B+. B+ to me. I have to go. If you're on in AB in an hour, I'll say hello. Thank you for joining for the short time, Marcus. I appreciate it. But maybe we have to ignore the B+ from Marcus because he's leaving us. I'm joking, Marcus. Have a good night, whatever you're doing. I think I'm going to go A-, guys. To be honest, I think it's pretty split here with A- and B+. We even got some A's in there. I'm going A-. Going A-. I think we can see what he does off the field enough on the ground. We became a better football team. There were so many times that his leadership felt like it willed us to stay in games, even if it didn't win it. Willed us to stay in games. So I'm going to go A-. I'm going to pull some rank. It's pretty split in the comments. And I'm going to go A- for him. All right. Bergman. We're probably going to go NA here on Bergman. Obviously delisted, horrific injuries for him. Really, really unfortunate. Couldn't have gone much worse this season for Miller Bergman. So look, I feel so bad. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It couldn't have gone worse for Miller Bergman. And I actually liked him. I was calling for him last year to be in the team a little bit because I liked his disposal, but couldn't have gone much worse. So NA for Miller Bergman. And look, now we're going to go to the main one here. Jack Darling. Now it's an A+. I don't even think we're going to pretend to vote here. It's A+ for Jack Darling. If you don't think it's an A+, the expectation, not from me personally, I love the signing. Go back and listen to those pods. I backed it 100%. I said it's a great get. I said he's going to play nearly every game. I constantly said he is not washed. If you watched West Coast games, you know he's not washed. He kicked a goal a game along two better key forwards than what we had, right? Like he's fantastic. You know what I mean? There's not the Waterman and Oscar Allen combo last year with him, playing that third fiddle. Man, we didn't expect much from Jack Darling, and he arguably was the best out of the three signings, I would say. So I'm going to put A+ on my sheet here, but tell me what you guys think in the comments. I want to talk a bit about Jack Darling. Absolutely unbelievable stuff from Jack Darling. Here come the comments. Alicia, whichever one that is, please let me know how to say that name properly. A+, I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. Jake says JD A+. I love it. PS, A+ is pretty high. He definitely overshot, but by that much. What about A-? No, absolutely not. I mean, look, my reasoning for this PS is our expectation of him was to, not mine personally, but a lot of the expectation from the North community was he plays 15 games and he's a mentor, but we weren't keen. We weren't psyched on the signing. The fan base was very split, and there wasn't a single person, there wasn't a single North fan who didn't say by the end of the year, Jack Darling isn't amazing. We credit Cooper Trembath to him. Whitlock got opportunities with him, and you can see his forward craft coming onto the twos. Larkey was better because of him. Man, it's an A+. It's an A+. Bonnaroo A+, had a lot of influence. His pressure was great. Always brought the ball to ground and brought others into the game. Outstanding. Absolutely 100%. Fabiano A to A+. Didn't expect a comment from him this year, considering his age, but has had completely changed the structure of a forward line and has been one of our most reliable forwards, A to A+. I mean, look, if you get a bloke in the pick 60s and he changes your forward line and helps develop a Cooper Trembath, even his, marking up on the wing, he was our best option, kicking it out of our back 50 to the wing because he protected the space so well. I think people are going a little bit short here. Matt says he took a lot of pressure off, so great pickup, solid A. Yep, but I'm going A+, guys. Seriously, it's a massive, massive A+ from me. So if I'm ever going to be, pull the most rank of all time, this is an absolute A+ compared to what we got, compared to what a lot of people thought. It's an A+ signing. It's an absolute A+ signing. He's going to be important next year as well. Wait till Cooper Trembath turns into Wayne Carey 2.0. On the field, not off the field, let's hope. Cooper is a nice boy. He's not going to do anything like that. Rugel, A+ for JD. Marnie won't give anything less than that. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. If Marnie listens to this, hears me give JD anything less, you won't see me again. Interesting comment from Joshua. How do you make Trembath a better player, though? I mean, a guy comes in mid-season, you're training with Jack Darling, the most experienced forward, played in premierships. I think Jack Darling made our forward line function so much better, which gave Trembath those opportunities. I would hope Trembath is working with Jack Darling one-on-one over Alarkey 100%. That's what he's there for. So I have no doubt that Jack Darling has made Trembath, Whitlock, even Finbar, good enough to be getting them games and performing in the twos as well. Okay, he played 3 games. He did play 3 games, but it's not about, look what he did in those 3 games for one. And 2, he didn't train with him 3 times. He's been training with him heaps. I know I cut a guy who's Cooper Trembath's best mate last week, and he puts a lot of it down to Jack Darling. There's a little bit of insight for you. It's training, it's strategy, it's playing on the game day, and the guy giving Cooper Trembath those opportunities is usually Jack Darling taking someone away. I think he does so much. So look, Jack Darling A plus, and that is final. That is final. Okay, Will Phillips. Will Phillips here. It's probably not ideal. We got him. He's probably going to be delisted. Mike's in here again. I'm just from Finbar's dad. He's going to sign a year extension this week, mate. Look, yeah, I remember you in the chat last time. If once the signing is completed on the website, next live chat, I'll give you all the credit in the world, mate. But hey, shouldn't it be Mike Maley instead of Mike Oxlong? Anyway, look. Thank you for your comment, sir. I remember you from last time. All right, Will Phillips. Will Phillips, what did we expect from him? Did we expect him to play? I'm probably feeling like a C, to be honest. He never had a game where he stood out. Yeah, C. That's probably where my head goes to. But maybe C minus. Jake's put an F in here. I don't know if it was an F. He did play. I think an F is like you don't play or your expectations sky high. Like the person who got an F was it was Bailey Scott. I mean, that's an F. Okay. And Dersma D minus. So that's the company he'd have to be. I don't think he's in that company for the season. So yeah, Caleb says D is that harsh. Yeah, it's in the C's somewhere. I think C or C minus. Let me know what you guys think. I just think played a few games. He was sort of the next up. PS here says D. I mean, he's likely on the way out. Yeah, that's true, but I don't think he was a D with what he did in the year. You know what I mean? I think we knew he'd be on the fringes. I think we probably thought he'd play a little bit more. But I think maybe when he played, he was just there and he was always droppable, but then he would get himself back in the team with good VFL performances. So C or C minus is probably where my head's at. Put your ratings in the chat. Bonnaroo here, Will Phil is so unlucky. He's not recovered from his glandular fever. C. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since the glandular fever. I'm not saying yes or no because I've never had it. And I'm sure it was a super hard thing to deal with, but it's been a long time since the glandular fever. And if he has never recovered because of it, then that's very unlucky for him. And I feel sorry for him, but we can only judge what he dished up. Joshua here, what did he actually do, though, to warrant anything more than the D+? Well, his expectation wasn't crazy high. And I think he did break into the team. Let me have a look here. I'll see how many games he played. Did he play 10? Would it have been 10 games he played? Let's look. Player statistics. Played 7 games. Yeah. I feel like C minus is fair. Leo here, he still picked 2 though. We'll pick 3 technically. The expectations should still be there to come good, which he didn't. We're only grading him off this season though, and our expectation going into that season. So it doesn't really matter where he gets drafted at this point in his career. I do agree overall though with you. Okay, C's or C minuses. I think any D plus is maybe a bit harsh. I feel like C minus is the go. Get your final ratings in the chat now so we can move on. But yeah, I feel like this is probably where we're going to be at. Get him in. I'm taking a sip of water. That's good stuff. D. Geez, harsh. Harsh from Joshua there. All right, get your comments in, guys. Fabiano says Phillips C minus. He's tackling pressure in the midfield, but disposal hasn't evolved at all from when we drafted him, and unfortunately has one foot out the door. Yeah, I agree. Mike says, I really hope North gets Windagger. I also agree. I hope so too, but you never know. There's a lot of C minuses coming in here. Pete Bowler, C minus. Jonty here says C minus. Going to be so hard to break into the midfield. I think I'm going to go C minus. I understand that people are saying D plus. I just don't know if his expectation was to play all the time. So I'll go C minus here, which is very close to D plus. But we're all kind of on the same grade here. Okay, Charlie Comben. Charlie Comben. This will be an interesting one. I think he had a really good season. He only missed a few games through injury. I think he improved a lot, Charlie. I think he's very reliable one-on-one now. You know, the season before, his one-on-one defending was questionable. He was one of the worst one-on-one defensively in the league statistically. And yeah, I think 20 games, so it's the most he's ever played for North Melbourne. 19 and 20 games and 24 and 25. So really getting some continuity in his career. Really, really happy for him. I mean, are we talking A's here? I don't know why it wouldn't be. He was the pillar of our backline. He was the most consistent thing. And did we expect him to sort of be the best defender consistently? Toby Pink was great. And he wildly, overachieved, which is what we're going to be talking about in a second, in two players' time to be exact. But yeah, I think it's in the A's, but a lot of B pluses coming in. Let's have a look. P Bowler F as a forward. I mean, completely agree, but that's Clarko's fault. Leo, B plus for Comben. Had games where he took the piss with his intercept marking. Absolutely agree. Pete Bowler here, but B plus as an intercept defender. Rugel says A. Yeah, I'm sort of in the middle of those. A minus or B plus. All right, what I want somebody to do, a few of you in the chat, if you don't think it's in the A's, if you think it's a B plus or in the Bs, give me a reason why it's not better than that. Because he was our pillar. And I know the defense wasn't incredible, but I think him as a player was our best defender all season, 20 games, so a vast majority of games. Bonnaroo, B plus, expecting to be a standout, but didn't quite reach those expectations. Oh, I feel like that's harsh. I feel like it's a little bit harsh. Bobby Magic, if not for him, we have the worst defense by far. Yeah, I kind of agree. Jonty here, A minus, he is building and starting to show some confidence. He had that game where he intercepted everything, another preseason, and can't wait to see him improve next year. No, I agree. Leah says a shocking kick. I don't agree. I think in front of goal, I don't think he's a great kick. I think in the back line, he was fine. He had a couple of turnovers, absolutely, but we watched this all year in Bay 29. We were sitting there going, oh, yeah, watch out, Common Kaki. He's actually a pretty good kick. I don't think he's that bad of a kick at all. Joshua B, just think he had a worse season this year than he did last year. I don't agree. I think he was way better this year. His intercepting was still there, but he was a much, much, much better one-on-one defender, which is our biggest criticism. He improved his biggest flaw drastically. So I think B's a little bit harsh. And he does acknowledge here, there's a 50-50 chance we get Marcus Windhager from Mike. Mike, we're not talking about trades. I love it, but we're not talking about trades tonight, sir. That's a different podcast. B plus from Stuart here, playing defense, D when he has to play forward. We're not ranking him as a forward. He's a defender. Okay, yeah, B plus then. I would have gone to maybe A minus. Okay, final comments here. B plus or A minus. These are the two that are getting floated around. Bobby Magic says next year might make All-Australian squad. It wouldn't surprise me. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic player. Joshua also says here, but he's still our best defender after his B rating before. And you're right, but we're sort of got to rate him on what we thought he'd give. And my biggest thing is him contested and him one-on-one. I really loved it. His willingness to play through those shoulder pain and that sort of stuff is fantastic. Mike. All right, Mike. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the chat's glitching out of me here. Mike, sorry. One last question. Marty, when is the next fan cams? Well, I don't know why Marty would know that, but the next fan cams, not too sure, to be honest. I wasn't sure how people felt about the fan cams, to be honest. We were sort of, last time we did live streams, we didn't really get many people wanting to jump on. So look, if you guys want it, you got to jump on when I do them. I'm happy to do another one, but you got to let me know. Let me know on Instagram, send me messages and tell me you want them. And then when I do another one, people got to show up because We only had 1 or 2 people last time. The first one was really successful, and a few people wanted to come on who couldn't get there. But, it feels like maybe you guys like this sort of stuff more. So let me know. Let me know. We'll do them again if you want them. I'm a man of the people. Okay, we've got B pluses and we've got A minuses here. Fabiano says, I agree with Jake. 100%. I'm trying to look for that comment wherever Jake was. Anyway, is this one, Jake? Please live stream draft night. I think that would be awesome. Oh yeah, I mean, look, if you'd like it, I could get Joel on. We could both live stream because Joel is going to be a lot more informative on the live stream. Would you want the whole draft, or would you want around when North picks? Anyway, we will see. Mike, we just might do that. All right, back to Charlie Comben. We need to finish this up because it's going to take a long, long time. It feels like B plus is the go for Comben, even though I think that's a little bit harsh. I would have gone maybe an A minus, but hey, you guys have sort of overruled. There's a lot of B pluses in the chat there. Okay, Goda, we're going to go NA on Goda. Unfortunately, didn't play a game. Really hope he comes back fit and firing with a big preseason next year. Toby Pink, once again, it's A plus for Toby Pink. Similar to Darling, not in the fact that we expected less, right? And Toby Pink at a point in the season probably was our best defender for a bit, even though Chom was our most consistent defender. Toby Pink has to get an A. We didn't even think that Toby Pink would play games. And I mean, look, I'll look up the numbers here. He would have played the vast majority of games. I think he would have played like 20 games, maybe a little bit under, or was it around 20? 17 games. Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic. It's an A plus for Toby Pink. A fact that a point in the season, Michaela here. Hello, Michaela. Michaela, I think I saw you on the broadcast today for the AFLW sitting sideline. The first shot, I don't know, it was in the forward pocket in the first quarter. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Michaela. Anyway, you're a celebrity around here, Michaela, now, obviously. It's A plus. Let's just read some of the comments here. Matt, Toby Pink was a blessing. Absolutely. Bonnaroo, A plus for Toby. Thought he was the best defender. Yeah, you could. I mean, look, you can argue that he was better than Chom. I think Chom was our most consistent for sure. Toby Pink had, I'd say, better games than Chom, but then he had lesser games as well. But the expectation on Pink was rock bottom. And we got obviously way overs. Pink, Toby Club, A++ from Fabiano. Michaela says, yeah, that's where I was. Go Roos. Yeah, absolutely. P. Bowler, agree with Mike, played above his expected value. How can you love this guy? 100%. Bobby Magic says, Toby Pink was delisted and re-rookied last year, and this year he shut down Kerner and should poll well in the BNF. Completely agree. Tom Lynch and that game-saving mark against Richmond in the clutch, 4 points, huge stuff. So it's A+ for Toby Pink, absolutely. We're going to get a few NAs here. Let's move on swiftly and get through some of these. I mean, Braden George is going to be an NA. We've got Jackson Archer next. Do you think NA for Jackson Archer because he didn't play much? I think that's probably fair. That's suspension in the opening round and then doing his hamstring, his first game back. What did he play? 2 or 3 games or something like that? So it's probably an NA. Let me know down below in the chat. NA for Jackson Archer, or should we rate him? He played 3 games, so I don't feel like it's fair, but let me know. Mike says NA here. We still got some Toby Pink comments coming through. Fantastic Stone Tube. When Toby Pink was dropped, our defense went to shit. Yeah, for sure. Needs to be A+. Yep, 100. Yeah, 100% agree. That Melbourne game, when he was so good, and then he got dropped the next week. I was livid on that pod. I was absolutely livid. I thought he was our best defender that day, and they dropped him. Fabiano says, just hope he can build off this year to become even more reliable next year. Absolutely agree. P. Bowler. Hard to rate Archer, but he looked promising. Yeah, NA's coming in the chat here from Jake and Stone Tomb as well. So NA for Jackson Archer. Matt Whitlock. I think even though he didn't play heaps of games at AFL level, we can absolutely rate him because we expect him to play some VFL. He broke into the side early. Obviously got dropped after one game. I don't think he played bad in that game. I think that was more of a structural thing for Matty Whitlock. Went back, played okay football. I think he dealt with a injury, I believe. If anyone can confirm that, let me know in the chat. And then he moved forward, played really, really well forward, and broke back into the side. It was hard to give him a game with Trembath coming on as well. But it wasn't like outstanding from him, right? Being a first round pick. So maybe like a B minus. A B minus. Do you think that's fair? Like a B minus? I think C plus would be harsh, you know. But what did you guys expect from Whitlock? Let me know in the chat. I'll give it a second here for you guys to get it in. Once again, another drink. And now I'm out of water. Or maybe like a B for Matt Whitlock. Do you guys agree? I'm waiting for the chats to come through here. I think there's a slight delay. So, yeah, I think here we go. Bang, we've got him. Bobby Magic here for a key position player. I'd give him a B. Yeah, okay, fair. He played some good games at the VFL level. He wasn't expected to do much, in my opinion. Yeah, that is fair. Sorry, there's a lot of chats coming in. I'll get these up here. PS, Matt Whitlock equals B minus. In his first game, he was surprisingly agile, but like Clark said, he's physically undercooked at the moment. That is true. No, that is 100% true. Fabiano, B, given I didn't expect much considering his age and size. Hope he puts on 5 to 10 kilos over the preseason to really see what he can do at the level. Bonnaroo says B here. Played well in the twos. Expect more next year. Yeah, I think B is probably fair. Robert here may be a little bit harsh with the C. Not enough games for Whitlock to make a true decision. I agree, but we're sort of trying to make a judgment from his form in the VFL. He broke into the side in 2 separate occasions at 2 ends of the ground. I think we can definitely rate him. Leo's a harsh critic. You're a harsh critic, Leo, but hey, we need someone to straighten us out sometimes. C plus or B minus, still hard to tell what he'll become, but promising. Yeah, completely agree. I think maybe more like a B. Broke into the side twice. Looks good at both ends of the ground. Showed he can play at both ends of the ground as well. Rue Girl says B will B will be good. Will be good. No, B will be good when he puts on some more weight. Yeah, I think B. Mike's has been minus for Matt Locksmith. Love it. And Stu, Whitlock looked promising in his first game, but the speed of the AFL seemed to take him by surprise. Would have liked to see him play 8 to 10 games personally. B minus for me. Yeah, okay, interesting. Well, look, we're sitting at B or B minus here, I would say. All right, we're going to give it 30 seconds, B or B minus in the chat, and that's what we'll rank Matt Whitlock. Personally, I would go B. I think it's B feels like it's sort of a pass mark. We did what they expected a little bit. But hey, everyone can differ on that. Bobby Magic, I don't know if he's a defender or a forward long term, though. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, look, I mean, I was talking about this a lot this year. I think he's a forward, especially with Will Dawson being there. Will Dawson, Combin, it looks like we're going to recruit in that department. Pink playing well. Logue, who, once again, I know he had a bad season, but I still think with a preseason, Logue can be a player. So B minus, B minus, B. Here's another harsh critic tonight. Joshua's a harsh critic, man. Meh on Whitlock. Needs a few more years. Oh, I mean, he's a skinny 18-year-old. You know, come on. Harsh. But hey, once again, we need people to level us out. Bonnaroo B. C from Joshua. That's too harsh, mate. Robert, we're grading him for what we have seen. Yep, but in the VFL as well. His season, VFL and AFL, if he's played. You know, I think that's fair for Whitlock because we expected him to be in the twos and then got into the ones. If a player played all VFL, then, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I think you can still rate like an Urquhart, right? When we rated Urquhart. Yeah, what did we give Urquhart? Did we end up going NA for Urquhart? We did, even though I think we could have probably rated him. But he did play senior games, so we have to rate him. Michaela says, I think he's a better defender than forward, but we need him forward considering Will Dawson is a better defender than him. Yeah, true. All right. Joshua says, how can you give a B? He gets a B because his expectation, he sort of met his expectation. I think we expect him to play a lot of twos and then break into the side. And when he played, I think he was all right. Forward, he got a little bit lost. But in the back line, I think he was good. He played really good at VFL level, broke into the side on 2 separate occasions. I don't think that's a C performance. I think that's a B performance. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And he's confused. I'm so confused. I mean, from what I saw, C didn't do much at all in AFL to know what he's done in VFL though. Well, in VFL, he was good. He was really solid. He was playing really, really good in defense to break into the seniors at the start of the year. Had a little quieter patch. So I think he got a little knock in the middle of the year, but then came back in the forward line and played really, really well in the forward line, then broke into the team again. So I think that's a decent expectation from a pick 27-ish, who's that skinny. So I think B or B minus is fair. But we've got a lot of Bs, a lot of B minuses in the chat. I'll go B minus. Even though I think I'd maybe go B. But hey, this is a collaborative effort. River Stevens, Joshua's dying on this hill of C. Well, sir, unfortunately, I get to pull some rank here, but I love your enthusiasm and thank you for commenting. The harshest critic of all. Wasn't he late in his debut though? Was he? I don't remember that from Bobby Magic there. Anyway, River Stevens. Now, this is someone we probably can't rate because he didn't play a senior game. And I know we're bending the rules here a little bit because Whitlock only played 2 and we're combining his VFL. If you guys want to rank and rate VFL only players who played in the VFL and had enough games in the VFL, let me know. Do we rank River Stevens on his VFL? Because his VFL was okay, so I don't think he's going to get a super big ranking. Or we just rank players who played a AFL game, and then we take their VFL form into consideration. That's the way I would do it. So I would say NA for River Stevens here because he didn't play one game. But if you did play a game, I think you have to be ranked on something. And it's not just that game. We'll take the VFL into consideration because you broke into the side for a reason. I know, look, we're just having a chat, guys. Look, some of the rules don't always make sense, but hey, here we go. NA from Fabiano here. Michaela has said, no, he was not late. I haven't heard about this, guys, to be honest. I'm not too sure. All right, River Stevens, NA, I understand. I'm sure Joshua's going to be fuming about that. NA for River by Pete Bowler. Anyway, Bobby Magic said, wasn't Foss sick, though? I don't know. I'm going to let you guys work this out in the comments. All right, this one will be interesting. Cooper Harvey. I don't know where to go on this because he didn't play many games. What did he get? 5 games for the year or something like that? I'll double check this. Probably 5 odd games. Kicked more than the goal a game though. I think there's a couple of games, 7 games. Okay. 7 games, 10 goals. That's a good return, but he only played 7 games. The thing I'm going to say with Harvey here is his form at VFL level was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And they wanted him in the team so bad, they tried to move him to half back. They tried to move him to half back just so they could get him in the team. Joshua here's got an A. Interesting. The harshest critic of all has gone A. And I know it's not his fault, but the reason I maybe wouldn't go A is because he only played 7 games. I know it's not his fault and he was doing everything right. But I think A would have been he got in earlier and played more games. B plus from Fabiano here to an A. Didn't expect him to break into the side. Good pick. Well, that's true actually because, yeah, his expectation, he didn't play a game the year before, right? And then he broke back in. So, yeah, okay. B plus is maybe where I'm looking to go. We're getting a lot of B plus to A's here. B plus to A for Leo. Joshua here, swear he wasn't expected to play. So by these rules, him playing pretty well isn't an A. Yeah, yeah, maybe not A because I don't know if in those games he was absolutely outstanding. Had a couple where he was fantastic and went missing in a couple. But you're right, we didn't expect him to play. So maybe we could go like A minus or B plus. I think that's where I'm sitting on these. We didn't expect him to play. So he did end up playing games. His VFL form was fantastic. But what do you guys think? Am I right here? Or is my arch nemesis on the chat here? It's two Joshuas going head to head. It's absolutely outrageous stuff. I don't think I'm changing the rules, Joshua. I think I understand why you think we're changing the rules. It's a whole collaborative thing, right? We've got to try, like, if someone only played one game or two games at AFL level and we're going to rank more on their VFL stuff, he played 7 games at AFL level, I think half of them were fantastic, half of them were a bit Yeah, and you're right. I do know I want to give him an A. I think A- or B+. I think that's what I'm going to suggest here. Let's see if we can get some reasonings here and we can make a decision. Maybe I'm wrong. P-Bowler averaged 8.5 disposals, but did kick goals and find space in the forward line at times to make the marks. I find it hard to rate him as I didn't really watch his defensive form. All right. I think we're going to pick between A- and B+. I want A- or B+ in the chat, and then I can decide. I think I'll rule here, and you guys can pick out of those two. Leo B+, couldn't see the potential, but in the 7 games, I could see it. Yeah, fair. I feel like maybe A- is what I want to go, because what Joshua was saying is correct. Like, we didn't expect him to play, and when he played, as an example, like, we didn't expect Toby Pink to play, and when he played, he sort of burst the door down. When Cooper Harvey played, he had some fantastic games, and there's some other ones that wasn't as good. I know Toby Pink had some down ones as well, but I don't think he had. I think the expectation for Toby Pink and Cooper Harvey was similar, but Toby Pink definitely busted the door down a little bit more. So I feel like A- would be the highest I would go. Jake A-. Joshua here, the goal, that goal in the 100-year anniversary alone is an A. Yeah, true. Oh, all right. I'm seeing the light from Joshua. Absolutely, mate. Bobby Magic A. Okay, I'm gonna go A- because I kind of want to go B+, but A- because Joshua and Bobby Magic are saying A. Jake says A- here as well. A-, A-, and he's getting that A-, Joshua, because you keep bugging me, mate. Because you keep bugging me. You too, Bobby Magic. I like that name too. PSS, from Nepo baby to viable option. Exciting even. Absolutely. A-. All right, Tristan Sherry. This will be an interesting one because he is an A+ player. He's an A+ player. But if you want me to be 100% honest, I don't think he was as good as last year. Now, he was very, very good this year. He was the All-Australian ruckman last year and got absolutely robbed by that fraud in Gawn. But I don't, and Bobby Magic has put an A+ here. I don't think he was as good as last year. And this is the only reason maybe I would go an A or an A-. I don't think A+. I know, yeah, I understand all the A+, A+++, but am I making any sense? And Michaela here says A-. Yeah, I sort of am A-, only because he wasn't as good as the year before. And I think, I think we expected All-Australian ruckman, and he wasn't that this year. He was very, very close, and he was a phenomenal. Rubigo says A. I'm probably on A because I agree. Someone else said he's going to win our, Leo said should win the Sid Barker. I sort of agree with that, but it doesn't mean he was as good as last year. And the expectation on him, A+++, you're wrong. He's at least as good. How was he less so? I don't think I think he had a lot of games this year where he was good, but not outstanding. I think last year he was outstanding. And I think this year he was very, very, very good. I know the suspension wasn't his fault. And once again, please don't think this is me saying he's not a fantastic player, arguably our best, one of our best. Glenn says Tristan A lived up to my lofty expectations. Fabiano B+ to A. Didn't have as good a year as last year, but still continues to be reliable and had injury suspension this year. Should be our captain next year. Just very hard he goes at it. I agree with that. I don't agree with the captain thing, but I agree with everything else there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go A. I think I'm going to go A. I know everyone wants to give A plus. We're getting some A minuses, James. This is an A. A minus for Big X, but a star for the future cup. Oh, completely agree. He's a superstar. Kanga here, A flat minimum. He's a beast. Kanga did put another Kanga Lotto here. Hello, sir. I think he says he's in Shanghai, but the chat's going too quick. Leo here. No, that's fair. Actually, he was probs better last year. I just love him because he's so important to us. I completely agree, Leo. I love him too. I am the originator of the Tristan Xerri helmet game. That is my thing. But he wasn't as good as last year. And just because he wasn't as good as last year doesn't mean he wasn't good. He was fantastic. And Josh, of course, says the game's gone. It is gone. I've lost him. Oh, look, mate, I don't know what I can do for you. Not all us Joshes are the same. I'm giving him an A. It wasn't an A plus. He wasn't as good as last year, but it was very, very close. It's an A for Tristan Xerri. Bobby Magic, Xerri not being an A plus would be daylight robbery. Do you think he was as good as last year? Honestly, I know you want to because he's your favorite player, but he wasn't as good as last year. He was very, very good. He was incredible, but he was the All-Australian ruckman last year. And I think Gawn was better than Tristan Xerri this year over the thing. And I understand that's going to hurt a lot of people, but I'm not saying that because Xerri's not great. He's incredible. A plus is what you can do, Josh. I can do that. But because I can do what I want here, I'm going to go A. I am going to go A. He just wasn't as good as last year. It was very, very close. But last year he was by far and away the All-Australian ruckman. I just don't think he was as good as last year, even though he was fantastic still. And yes, he will be our Sid Barker medalist. Okay, we're going to stop fighting over Tristan Xerri. He gets an A. Here we go. Yeah. Bobby, I think we start our own pod, the Josh and Bobby pod. Oh, mate, I'll subscribe. I'll subscribe to that. Let me know when you start it up, lads. All right, we're going to go on here. Finbar. PS here says, I just checked his stats. Yeah, looks like they were down. Actually, ChatGPT is right. He was. He wasn't as good as last year. Doesn't mean he wasn't phenomenal. He was an A this year and he was an A plus last year. That's what I'm saying. So he was not as good as last year and he still gets an A. That means he's bloody phenomenal, right? Finbar. It's Finbar time. Finbar. I mean, look, it's going to be high because I didn't expect him to play. I didn't expect him to play a game. I didn't even think he would get in contention, to be honest. I didn't think, especially playing over a Whitlock or a Dawson who played forward a little bit. It's probably high. When he was in, he was good. He was okay. But he didn't blow anyone's socks off. The marks in his first game was very exciting. That chance to win the game against the Bombers. And, I think he kicked the first goal of the game. So it's pretty high. But then I think he had a lot of games where he went missing. And I don't think I guess when he broke in, he didn't take the opportunity to be, because there was a spot there, right? There was a spot there to come in and have that spot for the whole year. So I'm thinking like high Bs. Joshua, if Cooper gets an A minus, Finn getting B or B plus, I'm kind of on that same page. Kangalotto here says B, solid. Had some good moments, has improved out of sight. Yeah, I think the B is about where I would go. Breaking in, he'd probably get like an A minus, but then I'm a bit harsh on Finbar. I don't know. I like him, and his marking ability is fantastic. I don't know if Mike's still in the chat, Finbar's dad, but I liked him, but he maybe didn't look like that supernatural footballer. So he'll have to come back and have a very, very big preseason to get in over Trembath. We agree, Joshua. Great minds. Us Joshers, we're all the same on the inside, mate. You know that. Bonnaroo, B plus for Finbar. After watching him in the VFL last year, I thought he would do well. Here we go. P Bowler, I can't rate him as I wouldn't renew his contract. Yeah, I mean, look, I did say maybe Finbar does get delisted, but I'm not unhappy if he does stay because I like him. I do like him. But Trembath came in and just took his spot, which he had more opportunity to take. So I think a B. I think a B or a B plus for Finbar. Glenn here, B minus, was excited when he got in, but was left wanting more from him. Yeah, I think that is completely spot on. I'm going to go B. I think B plus maybe a little bit too much. I can actually, Glenn, your comment there, I couldn't agree more with. James P, he will tear a game apart soon. I told him that personally the other day, and he agreed. Fantastic. Well, good luck getting in over Cooper Trembath at the moment. I hope he's fantastic. Look, I really, really do. I'm probably going to go B. Jake here, he couldn't hold his spot in an experienced forward line, be at best. Oh, yeah, I agree with that and Glenn's comment before. I think a B is fair. He broke in. He didn't hold his spot, and I don't think he blew anyone away. He was exciting in moments, but there was not really the consistency there. So B for me. I mean, Eddie Ford, really hard to rate, because he didn't play a game. We're going to go NA. Really wish Eddie Ford could have, I wish he could have got a game. I wish he could have hung around. I loved Eddie Ford. Obviously did the live show at the start of the year with Eddie, and I'm just really disappointed that he got delisted. But hey, hopefully that means we're bringing in some big names. This will be an interesting one. Constanti. Now, I know we all don't like Constanti. I don't mind Constanti, but I know we don't like him. What's this Rue girl? Buys for 40 since I sponsored him AAA, but in reality NA. Yeah, look, I loved him too. He was so nice at the at the live show, and geez, he was exciting last year. So I'm disappointed he didn't play games, but can't rate him unfortunately. Constanti, what was the expectation though? Did we expect him to play? I don't know. I don't think he's as bad as people want to pretend he is. I think he's got a little bit of Caleb Daniel syndrome about him where, we just decided we didn't like him, so we started being way too harsh on him. Now, I'm not saying he was good enough, but he did play every single game, and that has to count for something. I think he's really important defensively, his work rate, his tackle pressure. And I think the other thing is he did have opportunities. He did have opportunities to kick goals. He's an awful shot at goal. Him and Charlie Comben, to me, are a guaranteed point when they're lining up for goal. But he can improve that. This is interesting from PS. JK, he was the steak knife. He was steak knives in the deal. He must be an A, even if he can't kick goals. Interesting. I think A might be a little bit high because he did get the opportunity. So yes, an A because he was the steak knives in the deals. But then on his form, does he stay in the A's? I don't think so. Bobby Magic here, JK beat 11 goals from 23 games, but at least he played. He did play every game. Maybe around the B feels sort of fair. What do you like? This is so interesting. So I'm reading all the chats. Like Stuart, Constanti is A plus defensively and C minus offensively. Has to sort out his kicking. That sort of equals out to like a B, doesn't it? B minus, B. Glenn here, Constanti, no real expectations. Definitely didn't exceed them. C is probably a little bit harsh because that suggests for me he had a bad year. B minus. I don't know. Yeah, this is all over the place. I don't really know with Constanti. The chats aren't popping up on my screen anymore, but I don't know if they are on YouTube or not because I'm clicking the button. Kanga B plus, solid season, very important as a pressure player, and sometimes that chat's gone. Sorry, and sometimes tagging the running. Yeah, I think B. I think B is probably fair. I think Joshua's coming in here with an A, but I think he would get an A if he kicked goals. If he kicks more goals, he would get an A. Everything else he did, I think, was pretty good. Leo here, I'd go B. Bobby Magic, hot take, but I'd like for us to try him as a defender in the preset. Well, I mean, look, that little annoying tagging defender, I could have seen it, but hey, we'll never know. Is B fair? I think Bs have been the most consistent here. I feel like going a B. Put your final ratings in the chat, and then we can move on. kicked a few from Joshua. He did. He did. I mean, he had 4 shots against Adelaide, kicked 4 points, though. I think he had a better first half of the season. Second half of the season, his defensive stuff was really good and his tackle pressure was really good. You know, if he's around the pack, he's going to cause a stoppage or at least put pressure on to get someone to spill the ball. But just couldn't convert. Just couldn't convert. All right. Most people are going B here. We're going B for Constanti. Callan Dawson. How many games did Callan Dawson play? 1, 2, something like that? Let's have a look here. We're getting towards the end too. Callan Dawson, let's have a look. 3 games. And look, he delisted. What do we go for Callan Dawson? It's probably C minus, maybe. You know, I think going into the season, our defense, there were spots open. You know, him and Toby Pink would have been on the same level going into this season. I don't think we expected Toby Pink to play more games than Callan Dawson. And Toby Pink just absolutely took his spot. And then Whitlock and Will Dawson would play over the top of him. We're probably looking C minus, D plus. Yeah, let's have a look. What are people saying? D for D. D for D list by P Bowler. D for Cal, not up to it, plain and simple. Yeah, I kind of maybe D. Yeah, I kind of agree with it. D for D list by P Bowler. Bobby Magic. Callan looked really lost in the Freo game. Was subbed out. Yeah, he was subbed out, wasn't he? Well, then I'd say C plus is too harsh. Oh, sorry, too good if you got subbed out. Yeah, I think it's in the Ds. Leo, D plus. I mean, he got delisted. Yeah. It's in the Ds somewhere. It's in the Ds somewhere. Matt here, C. I think that's a little bit too high. I can't remember who pointed out before, subbed out Bobby Magic. He did get subbed out of a game. It's very rare a key defender gets subbed out of a game. And when he played, he wasn't at it, was he? It's in the Ds. A D, maybe, but I don't know why. Why a D? Why? I guess because his expectation wasn't sky high. I think D is probably fair. Bonnaroo never rated, so rate him now. Got to rate him, even if you did rate him as a player, you got to rate him on the season he gave us compared to your expectation. I think D. Get your final ones in the chat, then we're going to move. And it'll be interesting with this next one because they're both in the same situation, but the next one was better than Dawson. Cal D from Glenn here thought he played ahead. Thought he was ahead of Toby. Got that wrong. I think a lot of us did, or at least very, very close. P Bowler here. Cal looked as lost as Biggie Newen last year on field. Oh, poor Biggie. Oh, I got on the Biggie train a little bit there because he could intercept, but other than that, yeah, he did look very lost, didn't he? All right, D for Dawson. Fabiano agrees. Dawson gets a D. Okay, Bryn Teakle time. Now, very similar situation. I'm sure Teakle played about the same amount of games as Dawson. They obviously ended up getting delisted. But I don't think Teakle was that bad when he played. I think it's just a circumstance of there's not very much space for Ruckman on the list. We did all think that it was either him or CCJ. I think, but he did get delisted, and I understand that. So, what am I going to go here for Bryn Teakle? It's in the C's. Did we expect him to play? Maybe not, but I did. Maybe it's flat C. Maybe a flat C for Bryn Teakle. Bobby Magic here. I mean, D minus. No, it's too harsh. He definitely wasn't. He played a lot better than Callan Dawson played. Was planned to play second ruck to CCJ. It wasn't really AFL level. I feel we purposely weren't playing Goad because he was young, but was our best VFL ruck. Yeah, I agree. D minus is too harsh, though. I mean, if Dawson gets a D, Bryn Teakle definitely does not get in the Ds at all. Joshua C. Yeah, I'm sort of on your wavelength here, sir. P Bowler D minus. No, in the Ds is too harsh. Absolutely not. This guy after overrated. I don't agree. I think he's a solid player. He's too good for the VFL and didn't go quite as planned in the AFL. But No, it's in the C's. I will not accept anything that's not in the C's for Brent Teakle. He was much better when he played. Got to go. Cheers all. Go Roos from Glenn. See you, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Fabiano here, the voice of reason. C for Teakle. Love the pickup last year, but think we saw his ceiling. Had some use chopping out the ruck and could take a good mark. It is what it is. Completely agree with that. Yeah, I think it may be a C because he did come in. I think he played all right when he played this year. It's more a list space thing, to be honest. I think he played okay, to be honest, Brent Teakle. Did whatever he could do against Brodie Grundy. I know the stats don't stack up, but he was never hit out to the most overrated stat anyway. I think I'm going to go a flat C for Teakle. I think a C. I probably expect him to play a little bit more. I really liked Brent Teakle, and I wanted him to get more opportunity. I loved the pickup last year, but we can't rate it on that. So I'm going to go a flat C for Teakle. Okay. Zurhaar. Let's get through these last ones. I don't want this to go for too long. Let's get through these last ones. Cam Zurhaar, the Zoo, the Bull. It's probably in the A's, right? Maybe not quite as good. He had a fantastic, arguably his best year of his career, but he signed that big deal and the expectation was high for him. I'm thinking in the A minus, maybe. He did go missing in some games. Let's remember that. He did get battered and bruised up in that Freo game, and after that, he had a little bit of a quiet patch. I don't think he was as good as Curtis. I think the expectation of Zurhaar and Curtis maybe slightly higher, but Zurhaar was more of a proven player. So I think they're around about the same. We gave Curtis an A+. It's probably A or A- for Zurhaar. Let me just read the chat here for a bit. Okay. Leo here, A for Zurhaar. Maybe his best season he's had. Yeah, A- from Rue Girl. Leo, shin bone stuff in the first Richmond win. Absolutely. It's A or A-, I'm thinking. What else have we got here? Okay. Zed was pretty good. This is from PS Mike. A based on this year v last year, maybe a B based on previous years, but he came good this year. He's promised this year. So my reading is not up to expectation. D- for my reading. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Fabiano, B+ to A, had his best year in front of goals, but he has high expectations. Yes, he had some injuries, but still gone missing far too often for mine. I think A- is probably where my head's at. Michaela says A here. Joshua says, give the man an A, our courageous leader. Oh, A or A-. I don't know. I'm so confused. A or A-. Okay, you guys pick A or A-. They're the only two options you're allowed to vote for. Just put the letter in the chat and we will pick. He did play hurt a lot from P-Bowler here. So fantastic stuff there. You know, when he was on, he was great, but he does fall out of games. I think Curtis can be more consistent in games. You can throw Curtis in the midfield and stuff. I think it's pretty good comparisons between the two. Bobby Magic, he was rookie selection 11. That is true, but that does not come into our rankings for this season. But that is a fantastic point. A or A-, guys, get them in the chats, and then we can move on here. Oh, there's a lot of A's. I can't put all these up on the screen. All right. Everyone has gone A except for a couple. So A it is. You guys have the final vote. A. Okay, Robert Hansen Jr. We've got 3 left. Robert Hansen Jr. I think we're all pretty flat on him at the moment. But let's remember, he did definitely his best year of his career at AFL level. I think, what game was it? Was it the Melbourne game at the start of the year? He looked really, really good. I think he showed he can play at AFL level, but his consistency wasn't really there. Let's remember, what did we expect him to do compared to what he actually did? I mean, he's only 21. Played 12 games. Did he play 12? Wow. It's a pretty good season for Robert Hansen Jr. Um, it it's probably in the Bs. It's probably in the Bs. Let's not just give him Cs and Ds because we don't want him in the side over other guys. Think about it. He played 12 games. Was it 12? Was it 15? 12. He's played 12 games. I don't think anyone expected him to play 12 games. And like a Finbar, so when he played well, he looked really good. His disposal, he had a game. Which game was it that he had a bunch of goal assists? It was at one of the games at Marvel. I can't remember which one, but see, Adam's comment is correct here. B had a career best year. I think he did. Michaela here, should RHJ have got that contract extension ahead of others? Well, I mean, I agree it's a fair question, but he played 12 games. His disposal is clean when he gets time with the ball. And I think he was one of our better kicks going inside 50. Compared to the expectation of what you guys had for him, and Michaela's come back in here as well. Can't forget his amazing sub performance against West Coast. 100%. I think he gets a B. I think it's a flat B. I didn't expect him to play that many games. I think he had a lot of good games and a lot of other ones that you absolutely could have dropped him for. But his expectation was a lot lower, and I don't think we really expect him to play that much. B minus. That's maybe where I'm feeling here. But I'm thinking a B. I think it was a good season from Robert Hansen Jr. compared to expectation. Kangalotta here, C plus one good game. I think he had more than one good game. You don't play 12 games with one good game. The West Coast performance was good. I think it was the Melbourne one. He got a lot of assists. There was about 3 or 4 games. I think he was really good this year. What's this? Jake would have gotten 12 games if the Warlord wasn't injured. Wouldn't have got 12 games, I assume he means there. Yeah, maybe, but we don't know. We don't know that. Here we go. Piers on ChatGPT. ChatGPT says Supercoach points went up this year. Supercoach ratings, 30.3 average. I don't understand all these numbers. I'm not a Supercoach guy. But hey, I think he was better this year. So P. Bowler, offering him 1-year deal before the end of the season is crazy. No one else going to take him. I think he's borderline on the list next year if he didn't have the deal already. Yeah, potentially. But once again, let's rate what he did. I still feel like B is fair because I don't think we really expected him to play. PS, is this here 364 versus 196? Is that the amount of fantasy points he got? I think a B is fair, guys. I think a B is fair. 30 more seconds. Put your numbers or letters, my apologies, in the chat. I'm thinking B. It's in the B's somewhere, I think. B plus, B or B minus. Pick, put it in the chat. I'll give it a few seconds and then we will rate and then we'll get the last 2 done and get out of here. While you guys do that, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please, it would mean so much to me. My goal has been to get 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And it looks like we're going to get there. We're only 12 subscribers away. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Like the video. It helps get it out in the algorithm. And thank you for supporting as well. Getting B's here. Bobby Magic won't stand. I won't stand with a B. Well, I apologize. Fabiano here. This is a long one. Oh, God. Hang on. I'm trying to click. Oh, there's so many chats coming in. B minus, didn't expect much given his size and age, but did see flashes of his composure with the run and carry. Need to see much more and more consistently through needs to break out next year, could be cut. I agree with that, but on what he delivered, I think B minus might be fair, but I don't think we expect him to play. That's kind of what I want to go a B for. We're getting a B from Bonnaroo here. Yes. All right. It's split. I think it's a B, guys. I think it's a B, but a lot of people are going under. I'll go B minus, but I personally think B. But hey. Okay. This one's going to be hard to rank. Zach Bench. I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Zach Bench. I think Robert Hansen Jr.'s year was better than Zach Bench. I know Zach Bench didn't play as many games, but I don't know. How many games does Zach Banch play? 3. I mean, that mark alone, he gets some votes up, but he didn't maybe show too much goal threat, and I don't think his kicking was fantastic. His entry inside the 50 was a bit lackluster. Played 4 games, and I know he's a mid-season draft pick. I'm not trying to Jake here. I will set up 12 YouTube accounts to get into the 2K. Thank you, sir. The videos are worth it. Thank you so much. P.S. I've subbed twice to your channel via 2 of my channels. Anyone who has done less is not a true supporter. Just joking. Don't hate me. You're damn right. You're damn right. This is where I was stumbling. P.S. My typing is terrible. Sorry. Going too fast. I knew my reading wasn't too bad. Okay, let's go back to Banch. They're getting a few comments in here. Joshua, Banch has potential to be a whiz-like player. You've heard it here. Oh, I don't know if he can be that good. I don't know if I saw enough. I don't think I saw a game that he had, like a game where I was like, oh, yeah, he's got it. He's the sort of player like a Robert Hanson Jr. I think his best stuff he did up the ground on the wing or down at half back, that mark obviously, but a lot around the wing. Inside 450, I don't think it was that big of a threat. So, but once again, I mean, mid-season draft pick broke in with good VFL form, like what we were doing earlier with Whitlock. He did have good VFL form. B- is maybe in my head. Do you think that's fair? A+ for benchmark of the year. P Bowler C+ here. Leo C+. P Bowler and Leo and Joshua. Oh, sorry, hiccup. And Joshua here have been very, very harsh. I think C+ is harsh. I mean, did we really expect him to play as a mid-season pick? So I think it's got to be at least a B-. I think somewhere in the Bs is fair for Zach Banch. Broke into the team. I think maybe a flat B. Broke into the team, but he didn't have the game. Joshua here says only been to the club 6 months or whatever. Give him a preseason. At least I reckon he could be massive. Yeah, look, I think you saw in the VFL, he's got potential. And yeah, 100%. He's only been on the list for 6 months. B, need to see a larger sample size, but haven't seen anything yet to justify the hype, to be honest. Fabiano, 100%. That's exactly how I feel. I think it hasn't been enough time to judge, but from the sample size we got, I didn't see anything to make me go, wow. Like a Cooper Trembath, and I know that's harsh because his breakout was phenomenal, but it's in the Bs somewhere here. I think a flat B for me is what I'm feeling. Joshua, B+. We need a bench player. I agree we need it, but he needs to be the player. We need a player like a lot of players. We need a player like Griffin Logue, but at the moment, he doesn't seem to be doing it. I'm feeling flat B. All right, 30 more seconds. Get him in the chat. And then we can do the last here and then get out of here. P. Bowler says, hope we can keep 2 extra rookie spots. He's the type who we should be allowed to hold on to. Yeah, I completely agree. Hopefully, I think the rumor is he's got a 1-year deal. Kangalot, I don't think he's ever going to be good enough. Would never get a game in any of the final teams. Yeah, but what is he, 20, 19? And he's only played 5 games of AFL football. So a little bit harsh there, Kangalot, I reckon. But I agree we haven't seen the flash yet. Like he had 5 games to show, have a quarter or something like that. And I don't think we saw it, but it doesn't mean he won't do that with a preseason into next season. I hope they keep him, to be honest. All right, we're going flat B. We're getting Bs in the chat here. Okay. And look, I think this next one is going to be, I'll just put a couple of these last ones up on the screen. PS, close enough with a B. Yeah, I agree. Adam, B it is. Now, this one is going to be pretty easy. The last of the night, guys, Cooper Trembath. I mean, it's an A+. You could not possibly ask for more from a mid-season draft pick. You know what I mean? It just, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, he's a walk-up starter after 3 games of AFL football. 9 goals in 3 games is absolutely outrageous. Wasn't even our first pick in that mid-season draft. Man, it's an A+. I mean, good luck trying to convince me it's not an A+. Put your ratings in the chat and give me your Cooper Trembath discussions before we finish up here. We'll go for another minute or so, and then we'll say our goodbyes. And I'm going to do a review of all of our ratings as a podcast for Spotify and Apple. If you're usually a Spotify and Apple listener, I don't want those guys to miss out. And then there's going to be more content coming up with trade rumors and things like that with Joel, which will be very, very good. I mean, everyone here, A++ for Trembath. Didn't know who he was until Giants game. He kicked 3 goals in each. PS, A+ mega. I mean, this is the easiest rating of the night, isn't it? Michaela, A+. Fabiano, A+++. And I'm standing on business with that one. Just need to see him recreate that form all year next year. Well, I mean, that's the challenge for him, isn't it? Can he do it next year? And I believe in him. This is what Jack Darling gets paid his money for. Here, you're right, Bobby. He's not an A+. My prediction is he'll kick more goals than Larky over the next 4 years or so. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. That is a massive, massive call. That Bandy guy, Joel is great. Joel is great. He's become a good friend of mine. We're very, very similar hobbies, similar music tastes, and we met through podcasting like this. So he's a fantastic guy. Baru, A+. I mean, it's all A+. It's all A+ here. Rue Girl as well, A+. There was a reason why North sent him back to the suburban football after his first VFL game. Yeah, I mean, they clearly saw something in. Apparently, he was a bit overweight and they wanted him to, put on a little bit of size and get his body right, and he did. Kangalotta here, rating for Josh, A+ for being the best voice in footy, not just North. Kangalotta. Well, look, I'm blushing, not in front of everybody. I'm getting embarrassed. Thank you. That's made me very, very happy. Thank you, guys. Look, if you want to give me a rating down in the chat, feel free. If it's anything but an A+, I'm going to get mad. But hey, Jake here, coming in the voice of reason. We need to temper expectations and give him time. Let's hope it ain't a flash in the pan. Look, I completely agree with this as well. I think he showed so much, and now our expectation is high. And look, you can only have expectation off what he showed. But we also have to remember he's 19 years old and hasn't had a preseason yet. So, look, the expectation is high, but we can't judge too early with him. I think have high expectation of Cooper Trembath, but don't change that expectation in the first 5 games of next season. You know what I mean? He needs half a year next year. But he should be, you would hope, in good preseason form. I would hope it's him, Darling, Larky starting in that forward line. That's the 3 I would be going with. All right. Well, look, that sort of concludes it tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It really means a lot that we're doing this. We're going to go back to some regular programming. Maybe, we'll still do live streams. I'll try and do a live stream a week, maybe every week and a half or 10 days or so. What have we got here? Some more comments. A+ for Josh, C- for reading my dodgy typing. Well, it should be an A+ for being able to read the dodgy typing, mate. No, thank you for your comments, PS. I appreciate that. Thank you. That Bandy guy, I agree. I just hope he continues that good form into next season. We all do. We all do. Bobby Magic, if Trembath does, Bailey Scott falls off the moon, hits his head on the wall and completely drops off. He won't. I agree. I think he'll be fine. Bailey Scott also had like 4 years of fantastic form. That's why it was such a big drop off. James here, I hate the Hawks. I also hate the Hawks. I love my friend Aaron Fernando, who did listen to the episode where I said I hate the Hawks, but I love Aaron Fernando. I'll get Aaron on one day. He's a great guy. Thank you for the nice comments. Good on you, Josh. A++ for you. I agree. A+ for me. No, that's arrogant. Thank you so much, Bottaroo. I appreciate you tuning in and commenting. It really, really means a lot to people want to tune in and have this interaction. Joshua, thanks, Josh, even though you had a few dodgy calls, and I appreciate your dodgy calls too. Hey, Joshers make dodgy calls. That's what happens. Thank you for tuning in, sir. P. Bowler. Josh, A+ for you too. Who are you tipping for the rest of the finals? Good. Yeah, look, let's do that for the next couple of minutes, and then we can head off. I mean, I've got to look up the bracket. Let's get the app up here just so I don't get anything wrong. What is it? Gold Coast and Brisbane. And then, hang on, sorry, I'm just getting the app up here. Okay, well, let's go through the 2 games next week. So Adelaide and Hawks. Adelaide Crows, you listen to me. Seriously, pull your fingers out because I need you to win this. I feel bad not putting everyone's nice comments up. So we'll get back to this in a second. Josh, thanks for another good one. I'll be tuning into the next one, and we'll hopefully be joining in on the fan cam soon. Yep, the fan cams will be back if you want them back. Jake, A+. for giving his time week in, week out. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I mean, look, I'm more than happy to give the time for you guys tuning in. Bobby Magic just subbed. Thank you, sir. That means a lot. Really cool stream. We'll definitely join some more in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Michaela, Feather North, best in the business, A+. Michaela, you're the best in the business. The greatest in the game. That Bandy guy, as long it's not cats or hawks. I actually completely agree with you. I don't want to see any of that. Adelaide, I hope they win. Come on, surely. Screw the Hawks, man. But Aaron, I know if you're listening, I love you. And Lions, Suns. I mean, it should be the Crows and the Lions, shouldn't it? But hey, I actually think the Suns are a chance. I mean, Lachie Neale did his ACL right. I just don't. I've said this all year about Brisbane. I don't see how they kick goals unless rain is on. I just don't get it. And they didn't really do it last game, did they? 74 points. I mean, they went down by nearly 40 points in the end. Rayner and Lohman. Other than that, yeah, their tolls did not step up. So look, you know what? I'm tipping the Gold Coast. I'm tipping the Gold Coast at the Gabba. Didn't they win at the Gabba this year? I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, give me the Crows, because yeah, they should do it over in Adelaide. You would think, and then give me the Suns, Crows and the Suns, and then who would play who then? Who would play who? Tell me in the chat because I don't really understand how the bracket works exactly. I need the AFL Finals bracket up on my screen. Let me see if I can find it here on my phone. Finals bracket. Come on, please load. Please load. Okay. So that would mean Suns and the Pies, and that would mean the Crows and the Cats. Interesting. Oh, dear. Well, obviously, I think there's a weird chance the Gold Coast could make the grand finals. It's probably Pies and the Cats and the Granny, isn't it? And that would be a fantastic grand final. I said that earlier in the year that would probably be the best grand final, even though I wanted the Crows to make it. I want Crows Cats, but Pies Cats. And then honestly, I'm going for the Pies in that grand final. I don't have animosity towards the Pies anywhere near what I have. But I mean, Suns Pies or Brisbane Pies is going to be an incredible prelim final. I think the Cats, whoever they play, it's going to be a little bit boring personally. Cats Hawks would be a fantastic prelim just for the rivalry back in the day. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. And then look, let's assume it's Cats Pies, and probably the Cats win the grand final. But I don't want that. I'm so over the Cats. They're the most boring team in the finals just because it's death taxes Cats in the finals. But if it was Cats Pies, I would go Pies. Who do you guys want to win the grand final? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Look, I am going to finish it up. I do have to go and record another podcast to get that out tomorrow for everybody as a review for this. And then through the week, we'll try and get Joel back on and we'll do some content around trades and that sort of stuff because it's heating up. There's rumors every single week, and we're going to try and cover them through the finals. And the AFLW review will be part of that podcast as well. So please watch that. I'll upload that to YouTube. And speak of the devil, just about talking about the AFLW, Michaela Northgirls A+, by the way, 100%. We're the podcast that I'll put out tomorrow. Screw it, I'll put it on YouTube as well, just to review all of this. It'll be player ratings, AFLW review, and then through the week, we'll do trade rumors. So that'll be hopefully the 2 in the next 7 days that we'll try and put out. P. Bola says, thanks, Josh. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for tuning in. PS, go forth and pod. Thanks for doing this live session. No, thank you for tuning in, guys. I got stuck last time reading out all the nice messages and not actually leaving. So I might actually go. It's actually very hot in this room as well. Summer's coming, and for people who look like me, that is very, very scary. All right, guys, get around the W, get around the girls. They were fantastic. I mean, we're going back to back, so please get around this. Thank you for joining. Fabiano, thanks, Josh. A++ for you, sir. Thank you. You always tune in, mate. I always look for your name in the chat, okay? So thank you to you. And look, my arch nemesis / best friend, Joshua here. Thanks, mate. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Adios, says Bobby Magic. Sounds good. Thumbs up from that Bandy guy. I will chat to you very, very soon. If you guys want the fan cams back, let me know and we can do something like that. So, though, happy Father's Day as well. P. Bolo has just reminded me. Happy Father's Day if you're a dad listening to this pod or a North Melbourne dad. Happy Father's Day as well to everybody. All right. That will do me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you very, very soon. Keep up to date Instagram and Facebook for all the live streams. That is the best way to follow along. Message me and let me know if you want the chats back where you guys are invited on, like the fan cams. Once again, if you want the fan cams, I'm happy to do them, but you have to tune in and you have to want to come on the fan cams. That's the thing. I want there to be 5 or 6 people at least coming on these fan cams consistently. So let me know if you want it. All right, I'm done. See you guys.